Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And some of you probably thought about starting your very own sports podcast. Well, let me help you out. I want to tell you a little bit about Anchor. Now, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's an easy way to make a podcast, and it's free. You don't have to worry about paying a bunch of money each month. There are creation tools to allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you don't have to worry about that. So it can be heard on apps like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So go to anchorfm.com and start your very own podcast today. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And this is the State of the Saints podcast live from the radio station I'm at, 90.9 FM. I'm at work today and thought that I'd talk a little bit about the New Orleans Saints this morning. Want to give a special shout out to everybody that's checking out the State of the Saints podcast. And, you know, it's feel funny talking the State of the Saints podcast behind the mic that I actually, do the show. I'll do my morning show every morning, but I mean, here we are. Just thought I'd give it a shot. Want to say thank you to everybody that's filing into the chat. And also, I hope everybody's having a good day so far, man. I mean, it's a great day out here in the Carolinas. I mean, it's a little gloomy outside. I mean, we had thunderstorms all day yesterday, but nevertheless, it's still a good day because today is the start of the NFL season. That's right. The Kansas City Chiefs will be taking on the Houston Texans, and I know a lot of people are excited about that. I know I am. I mean, I'm extremely excited, man. I mean, the fact is we have not had football at all since the Super Bowl. That's the last time we had any type of football. But now the NFL season is here. And now we can start talking trash. It's time for us to go out here and infiltrate some of those groups and start talking mad trash to some of our rival teams. And, you know, this is an exciting time, folks. I know it's a little bit different, especially the fact that the New Orleans Saints won't be playing in the they'll be playing in the Superdome, but they won't have any fans. And that's weird in itself. But I think we all can agree that at least something feels normal, and that is the NFL season. But I want to give a special shout out once again to everybody in the chat. And of course, if you're new to the State of the Saints podcast, we read the chat, we read the comments, and we talk about some of the things that some of the Who Dat Nation want to address. That's how the State of the Saints podcast go. But if you looked at the topic of the show is, should we give up on Marcus Davenport? And I thought that would be a good topic to discuss because Marcus Davenport is one of those guys who a lot of people in the Who Dat Nation have a lot of questions about. You know, yeah, you see a guy with very rare talent. You see a guy that's extremely athletic for a man who is 260, 270 pounds, but he has a history of being injured. And when you have a history of being injured, I mean, no matter how good you are, nobody is going to care how great you are. You know, like John DeShazer said a couple of days ago in the State of the Saints podcast, and I often say here, the best ability is availability. If you are available on the field, then teams can count on you to make plays. But if you're not, then no matter how much talent you possess, nobody cares. I mean, absolutely nobody cares at all. Okay, that that how good you are if you're not on the field. And Marcus Davenport, I mean, he finds himself on the injury report yet again. I know Sean Payton said a couple of days ago, man, if it was week one, he'll be able to play. But still, you know, the fact is you're showing up on the injury report and people are tired of seeing you there. And I really stuck my neck out this year for Marcus Davenport. So I have an emotional investment in this guy. I want to see him succeed. I want to see Marcus Davenport succeed. I have went out here, I have jumped out of the window, and I have said that Marcus Davenport will have a better season than Jadeveon Clowney. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I don't really make my point of view. I don't address my point of view out of being petty, okay? Anybody that knows, I didn't even want Jadeveon Clowney in the Saints uniform. I'm actually happy that he didn't show up. And I'm not just saying that Davenport will have a better season just because of that. I'm saying because Marcus Davenport, when he has been on the field, he has shown flashes. He has shown that he can be that guy. He can be one of the guys that can have double-digit sacks. He can be a disruptor. But once again, the best ability is availability. If you're not on the field, then nobody cares, okay? Nobody cares at all how much talent you possess if you're not on the field. And me, I'm just kind of sick of it. I am, and I understand, he's the football player here, right? I'm the guy that analyzes the game. I'm the guy that sits behind this mic or the mic at my home, and I break down New Orleans Saints from my point of view, okay? But he's out there on the field. He's out there risking his life, for, monetary gain, to be able to, put himself out there to have generational wealth in the future, but at the same time, I think I don't feel bad by saying this is Marcus Davenport just needs to step it up. He needs to step it up. And I don't know what he needs to do. I don't know if he needs to spend a little bit more time in a massage room. I don't know if he just needs to work on some of those little things that have been bothering him over the past couple of years. But it's time to step up, man. You look at somebody like Cam Jordan, he's still playing at a high level. But there's going to come a time where we're not going to be able to depend on Cam Jordan, and Cam Jordan is not going to be the Cam Jordan that we're seeing in his prime. And we're going to need other guys to step up. And right now we're saying Davenport is the guy, and I still believe that he is the guy. But I'm getting kind of sick and tired of watching him be on the injury report, and I'm definitely sick and tired of him limping off of the field. So we got to do something about that. Hopefully, this won't affect him going into week one. I know a couple people were on the injury list, didn't practice. Rookie Cesar Ruiz, he was on the list, he didn't practice. And people can say, it doesn't mean anything. The guys are going to play. But, just psychologically, as a fan, and psychologically for him, you ended up on an injury list is not a good look at all. It's straight up disappointing, and as a fan, I just don't know. We need to figure that out. But let me go ahead and start reading some of the chat here. I see my guy Chemo in here. He says, OG, man, what's going on? We got Jared Port, the OG of the State of the Saints podcast. We got Kai in the building. We got Odell saying, morning, TJ. What's going on, Odell? Appreciate you stopping by. But let's go ahead and get into some of the questions here. And thank you once again, everybody that's filing in. We see Reggie says, Davenport needs people to stand behind him and quit doubting him. He's already lived up. Now we all go over the top. Reggie, no, it's not about going over the top, okay? The topic is, should we give up on Marcus Davenport? The reason why is because you have a fair share of members of the Who Dat Nation who are willing to give up on this guy. Now, I'm not one of those people. But like I said, I will say that I don't want to continuously see him on the injury list. And I know you don't either. I think what you're saying is you want people to give him an opportunity to really, develop and come into his own. I get it. I want the same thing. But I feel like it just feeds the haters. Every time you see him on the injury list, every time, you hear Sean Payton have to vouch for a guy, for the last couple of years have not been able to play a 16-game season. So I do want him to succeed. I want him to live out all of the potential that he has. I want him to exceed expectations. But it's hard for me to defend him when I want to, when he's constantly on the injury report. We got to be real. We got to be 100, folks. We want him to succeed. Well, some of us do. Some of us, we just quick to give up on anybody, we love players from down to down. First down, we love them. Second down, we hate them. Third down, get them up out of here. But I'm talking about for the people out there that think logically and understands the talent that he possesses and willing to wait I think that, it kind of makes us look ridiculous sometimes, that we're defending it because, he's proving us wrong by ending up on the injury report. But, I still have faith in him. Sergeant AR says, what up, who that? Dirty Birds in the building. Dirty Birds ain't been in the building for years, my friend. It's been a while since the Dirty Birds been in the building. I need the Dirty Birds to actually do something in order for them to actually be relevant. The fact is, I get it. Y'all won the Super Bowl, what was that, 2015 or something like that, 2016. But besides that, y'all haven't done anything, man. Y'all been a disappointment, like real talk. Like I'm not even just saying that because I don't like Atlanta. Y'all been a disappointment, man. Like for all the weapons that you all possess, for all the offensive talent that you have, the so-called, great Matt Ryan, a guy that you all consider a future Hall of Famer. I still feel like he needs a couple more years to prove that. He has been a league MVP. I guess you can say that. But the fact is you have arguably the greatest wide receiver to ever play the game in Julio Jones. And you have a really good, respectable number 2 in Calvin Ridley. And then you also have so many other great players that were on your team. And the fact that you all haven't been to the playoffs in the last, 3 years, it's time for you all to step up, man. So even though y'all in a building right here, you're representing Sergeant. Y'all haven't been in the building for the last 3 years, man. So hopefully y'all can get it together. I think you all are going to be much improved from last year. But at the end of the day, y'all haven't been in the building in a while, my friend. I'm just being 100. Sean Payton's play calling better be on point. The Bucks are talking mad trash. Brandon, look, I can care less what a Buccaneers fan has to say to me. Okay, I can care less. The Buccaneers fans are so irrelevant to me because you're actually jumping off the cliff, dancing, poking your tongue out, blowing raspberries, doing all that crap, and your team hasn't done anything in a decade. You have not made the playoffs in over a decade. You guys are bragging and boasting about a guy who had the majority of his success in another team's uniform. That is the most pathetic thing I have ever seen in my entire life. That's like you bragging about what your new girlfriend did to her ex-boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, she used to hold him down. She used to make sure that he was taken care of. Like, who does that? Okay. What has he done for you? What has he done for you? What has Tom Brady done for you? Besides put on the number 12 uniform and throw a football around in Tampa. That's all he done. He has not played in a real game. And you don't know how your team is going to turn out. And like I said, it's just absolutely pathetic. This is the epitome of pathetic. That you are out here bragging and boasting about somebody that did something for another team. Who does that? But like I said, that goes to show you how pathetic their fan base is. Tampa, to me, look, I'm not saying that they won't have a better season. I'm pretty sure that they will. But just pump the brakes because half of you wasn't jumping in these groups and you definitely weren't infiltrating some of these NFC South groups when Jameis Winston was throwing multi-interceptions. Okay, I know he played for the Saints now, but it is what it is. You wasn't infiltrating these groups when you had Josh Freeman as your quarterback and he didn't live up to expectations. You wasn't jumping into these groups when you were changing offensive coordinators like a guy changes his underwear. So don't act all big and bold now that you have the New England Patriots light, that you got Gronk and Tom Brady, and now all of a sudden you feel like you are relevant. Like, knock it off. We're not playing Madden here. I say that often. We are not playing Madden. Now, if your team comes out and you're 13-3 or 14-2, okay, good. Congratulations to you. Give these guys a cookie. They had a good season. But right now, you guys are living off of what guys did in another team's uniform. You do not brag about what your current girlfriend did for her ex-boyfriend, okay? You're the man. She's supposed to be doing that for you, okay? What has she done for you? What has Tom Brady done for you? He hasn't won those 6 Super Bowls in your uniform, right? So you're looking pathetic right now, Tampa. I'm just being real with you, okay? Look, if Drew Brees had, you know what I'm saying, if he came from like San Diego, right? And let's just say Drew Brees, he was coming off a really good season. Let's just say that was the best Drew Brees had to offer. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Drew Brees coming to New Orleans. But he did absolutely nothing. I would look like the biggest idiot on this side of the Mississippi. Tampa, wait for the guy to do something. Wait for your team to do something. Do you know how the NFL season is? Do I need to tell you about the so-called dream team that they had out in Philadelphia? You remember when they had Vince Young and they had Michael Vick and then they had Nnamdi Asomugha, and then they had all this different talent and stuff like that, and they called themselves the dream team. Ask Philly, did they make the playoffs that year? Ask them. I guarantee you they'll tell you they did not make the playoffs. So pump the brakes, okay? We don't know what your team is going to be. On Madden, I'll be nervous. In real life, not so much, okay? Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Tro says, yo, where was this talk when they had Mike Glennon? Absolutely. There was no talk, Tro. You know why? Because they're a bunch of grandstanders, okay? Look, I had the same energy when the Saints had Billy Joe Hobart and Billy Joe Tolliver as quarterback, okay? As trash as they were and as confident as I was that they would actually lose, I still was a Saints fan. I still was repping the black and gold. I still had my Saints shirt on. I didn't have the hats at the time because, I grew up, like in the Ninth Ward. My mom, she did the best she can, but, I wasn't able to go to Foot Locker, Foot Action and get those hats. But, I used to have my Saints shirt and stuff like that and used to rep hard. That's the type of energy that I'm talking about. Look, I have zero respect. I have zero respect for anybody that's a grandstander, okay? Anybody that's a bandwagon hopper, I don't have any respect for that, okay? Like, I feel like you are determined by how you are in the bad times, okay? How you're perceived in the bad times is how I feel like I want to evaluate you in the good times. So if Mike Glennon was on your team and you were still repping the Buccaneers, I can respect you, okay? I can respect you for coming and having the same energy, okay? Because Tom Brady is here. I can respect your enthusiasm. But I'm talking about the people, I'm not a Tampa Bay fan. I'm a Tom Brady fan. Like, man, go sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Knock it off, okay? Knock it off. Where was this energy when Mike Glennon was the quarterback? Where was this energy when Josh Freeman was the quarterback? Somebody please tell me. Somebody please tell me, where was all this energy? I mean, what was that? Sperano? You know what I'm saying? When he was the coach. I mean, what was the energy? What was the energy when Dirk Cutter was your coach? Lovie Smith, as much as I like Lovie. What was that energy then? It was nowhere to be found. And we gotta stop this, man. We gotta stop this stuff. We gotta start holding these bandwagon hoppers accountable. Okay, it's to a point where people don't even feel bad that they jumping on a bandwagon. Where they do that at? Huh? If I'm jumping on a bandwagon, I feel too embarrassed. I would hope that nobody can go back and do what a lot of people do on Twitter. Go back 10 years and see what I did. Okay, might be repping a different team. Might have completely different energy. So knock it off, Tampa fans. Not the real fans. The real fans, y'all got the right to be happy. But those I never seen before, and the fan that got on the blood red Tampa Bay uniform. I'm talking about the blood red jersey. I'm talking about the one that hasn't even been through a rinse cycle yet. Go sit down somewhere, okay? The Baddest Sports Show said the funny thing is Tom Brady has not won a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick. This is not the Patriots and their defense. Man, shouts out to Everett, man. Man, shouts out to the Baddest Sports Show. Shouts out to my guy, man, my favorite truck driver. Man, shouts out to you, brother. But you have to you hit the nail on the head here, man. The question has got to be asked. Can Tom Brady win a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick and vice versa? And, he doesn't have Bill Belichick to, game plan from week to week, to strategize from week to week. Bruce Arians, as good as a coach that he is and a good guy, he can really coach some offense. He is not Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is arguably, well, not to me, but he is arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time. And when you become the greatest coach of all time, it's hard for you to be replicated. So we're going to see. And a lot of people probably say, well, we'll never really know because Tom Brady is 43 years old. They gave themselves some wiggle room, right? They gave themselves enough wiggle room where they can actually jump out a window and yet find a little way to get, to get out of the situation that they're in. Okay. They put a nail out there just in case they fall, it can stop the fall. Okay. Cause they can always lean on, oh, he's 43 years old. Oh, if he was in his 30s, then we would have a real true Tom Brady. Tampa would be a contender. They left themselves some room, but being a former communications major as I am, a communicologist, as my former professor, Dr. Mark G. Henderson would say, a communicologist, I can kind of see through the nonsense. Now, I know I'm not the most, astute, person when it comes to communications, but at the end of the day, I know when somebody is blowing smoke on my behind. I know, okay, and I can tell you, they blowing smoke, okay. They're trying to hype him up, and if he doesn't pan out, then they're gonna try to find a way to get out of it. Falcon rise up for life. Couldn't tackle Marshawn Lynch, couldn't even stop Stephon Diggs, and y'all still could have won that championship game after the flag, but y'all didn't because y'all defense sucked. Our defense better than the Falcons' defense. Okay, and y'all shouldn't talk about anything, about nothing in the playoffs, okay? When the whole entire world sees that you guys gave up a 25-point lead late, going into the third quarter, into the fourth, you shouldn't say anything to me. Don't talk to me about defense. Don't talk to me about, like my team sucked. Y'all, like the Falcons just beat the Saints for the first time this past season since December of 2017, okay? So I know what y'all going to do, right? We start going back and forth. Y'all start bringing up that overall record. What's going to happen when the Saints beat you guys out of 4 out of the last 5 times? Or if we have like 6 matchups or something like that, the Saints win out. Then y'all won't have that to the rest on, right? Y'all won't have that. I mean, look, man, I'm not here to go back and forth with Falcon fans because it's ridiculous. Like, you all don't even have the fan base. You guys don't have the loyalty. You guys don't have the support. Most of your fans are fair weather. I mean, most people that live in Atlanta are not even from there. Like, give me a break. People from New Orleans, man, we rep New Orleans hard. I left New Orleans when I was 19 years old. I'm 34 right now, and I still rep New Orleans. I'm still repping Montague Street. You know what I'm saying? I'm still repping George Washington Carver High School. I'm still repping Gentilly. You know what I'm saying? I'm still repping the Franklin to the Broad. You get what I'm saying? The RTA, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, the bus system. I'm still repping it. You Falcon fans, you guys love at a distance, okay? As long as the team is doing good, because your energy, when you all beat the Saints this past season, I didn't see that energy during the season, okay? But you want to jump into groups because that's what you do. You're grandstanders. You're not real true fans. Falcon fans are, like I said, you're a tourist town, right? I live in Myrtle Beach right now. Myrtle Beach is a tourist town. People come to your town, they have a good time, and they leave, right? And, you know what I'm saying, some people actually stay because they want to maybe, go to Tyler Perry Studios and be a star. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta is supposed to be the Black Mecca. You know what I'm saying? That's where people go to make all their dreams come true. It's like the Disney World, you know what I'm saying, of the South. Even though Disney World technically is in the South because it's in Florida, but I don't know, man. I'm on some Pimp C type stuff. I don't feel like Florida. Anyway, never mind. The thing is, it's a tourist town. All right, it's tourists. Y'all, you go to Atlanta, you rarely see people that's from there, and you rarely see people that actually rep the Atlanta Falcons hard. Okay, so you all come out from the trees, from the bushes when you win. Or, you know what I'm saying, you get over on the team to make yourself feel relevant and cool. And look, ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? We see this with the Tampa Bay fans. But don't come at the New Orleans Saints fans. Don't come at us. Don't come at us, you know what I'm saying, because we're loyal to our team, win or lose. Don't get mad at us because I still say who that after a loss. Don't get mad at us because even though we had to overcome adversity in 2017, we still bounced back having a better record in 2018. Don't get mad at us because we had a good record in 2018 and suffered one of the most heartbreaking losses in sports history and came back 13-3 the next season and won the division before Thanksgiving. And oh yeah, we won the division against you all on national TV on Thanksgiving while everybody was eating turkey dressing, cranberry sauce, and lemon meringue pie. The Saints was wrapping up the division. The first team to wrap up the division out of all the teams in the NFL, and they did it against you all. And it made your quarterback look like a fool in the process. Like a fool. So, Atlanta, don't worry about us, man. Need to worry about getting back to the playoffs. You need to worry about trying to get rid of that GM who has been whiffing on draft picks and not being able to bring people in the door to make your team relevant. And you need to focus on that. And maybe you need to focus on bringing in an offensive coordinator that can help Matt Ryan go back to what he once was when Kyle Shanahan was here. Okay, we're going to handle this over here. We're going to whoop y'all like we always do. We're going to embarrass y'all like we always do. You guys are going to win some games like you always do, and you're going to fail like you always do. Okay? Sorry, but it's facts. If we want to talk about failure, I'd rather be a Saints fan than a Falcon fan because the Falcons, like, think about this. The Saints lost in the playoffs, okay? How many teams lose in the playoffs? You know how many teams lose in the playoffs each year? Okay? You get opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. Okay? Everybody watching this. You know what I'm saying? Great grandmama is watching this. Okay? She don't even know that much about football. She watching it. Got people from overseas that don't even watch American football. They're watching this. They're watching you guys blow a 25-point lead. Okay? I mean, and they're talking about it in English and in Spanish and Chinese and Japanese. They talking about how you blowing it, okay? And if I spoke about 5 languages, I would actually demonstrate how it sounded when in all different languages, how people felt when you blew a 25-point lead and the entire world was watching, okay? The entire world. You know how many people watch the Super Bowl? You know how many people actually watch the Super Bowl? Like, I'd rather lose in a divisional round in a wild card game than the Super Bowl. For real. I'm just being real. I would rather lose in the divisional round, the wild card game, than to lose in the Super Bowl. Okay? I wish Herman was here. I know it's nighttime, I think, where he is. I know he's in Italy. I would ask him to translate in Italian. Okay? What people were saying in Super Bowl 51. Okay? I would ask him. Okay, we'll translate that. But it's all good. Like I said, man, this is football season, man. We back, okay? We back, man. We back talking trash, okay? Like, it's nothing wrong with a little friendly fire. Shouts out to Falcon Rise Up for Life. He said Saints need to learn how to win in a playoff game. You guys need to learn how to make the playoffs, okay? I mean, look, how can you hate from outside of the playoffs? And you can't even get in. You know, like, come on now. Give me a break. Like Chris Brown said, how you gonna hate from outside the club? How you gonna hate from outside the playoffs? They talking about that stiff arm in Germany. I know they is. That's why nobody respect the Saints and slant guard Mike. No, everybody respect the Saints. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know me. You know the thing about me. I like to study a lot, right? I like to study interviews. I like to study like different shows. I like to hear different debates coming from different individuals. All I hear about when they talk about the NFC South, they talking about Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and they talking about the Saints. I don't hear them talking about the Falcons. I don't hear the national media even bringing the Falcons up. When they start talking about Super Bowl contenders, I don't hear about the Falcons. I don't hear about them. I mean, I don't know. Maybe y'all do. I don't. I don't hear nobody talking about no Falcons in the Super Bowl contention. When they talk about some of the best teams in the league, I don't hear Falcons coming up, okay? I don't hear anybody saying anything about the Falcons. I mean, I think Falcon fans are jealous of Saints fans. I do. I think the Falcon fans are jealous of Saints fans because we all know that the Saints are the best team in the division and have been. And the most relevant team. The Saints got the best coach in the division. The Saints got the best quarterback in the division. The Saints had the best running backs. And you know what I'm saying? Right now, the best receiver in the division. And I think that there's a little bit of jealousy. So, you know, it's almost like Falcon fans sometimes be clout chasing, right? It's like I was watching this movie, and I think it was Jay Farrell, right? Jay Farrell was an up-and-coming comedian. And he was talking about Cat Williams. Cat Williams supposed to be the biggest comedian in the world, and he was talking about Cat Williams, in a role that he had in a movie or something like that. But in the process, Jay Farrell ended up going viral, and people wanted to hear Jay Farrell speak and all that kind of stuff because they thought he was funny because he went viral. But he went viral by talking about a guy who was super relevant. And that's the same way with the Falcons. Nobody cares about the Falcons. Like, for real, nobody checking for the Falcons. The Falcons cannot stand alone without the Saints. The Saints can stand alone without the Falcons. Think about this. The majority of your games that come on TV that's nationally televised, the Saints, you guys are playing the Saints, right? When Michael Vick and the Falcons came to the Superdome back in 2006, that game was on Monday Night Football. You think people were there because they wanted to see Michael Vick? As good and dynamic as he is and how much I like him? Absolutely not. You think on Thanksgiving for the last couple of years, you think people really wanted to sit down and watch the Falcons play? Like, give me a break, man. Be serious. You guys should be thanking your lucky stars that you have a future Hall of Fame quarterback in your division because nobody would care about you at all. Nobody would care about the Atlanta Falcons if they didn't play the Saints. The Saints make you all relevant. The Saints are what the national media are talking about. And if you just so happen to be on the ticket, you guys can, can roll with us, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are the backseat drivers of the NFC South. Y'all are. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are the backseat drivers of the NFC South. The Saints are in the driver's seat. You can put Tampa up in there, Carolina, take your pick. And then you got Atlanta always in the backseat leeching off the success of the New Orleans Saints. Nobody even, come on, man, give me a break. Who's sitting up here talking about Falcons except for Falcon fans and Falcon podcasts, okay? We just brought somebody up here. Somebody just mentioned Kay Adams, who's on Good Morning Football on NFL Network, okay? I mean, we got Steve Weish up in this thing, you know what I'm saying, on the State of the Saints podcast, who's at the Saints games mostly every week. I mean, come on, give me a break. Like, what are we talking about here? Thank you, lucky stars. And I know y'all are hoping and praying that this is Drew Brees' last season, but you might want to continue, because if Drew Brees was to retire, then what else would y'all be able to hold on to? I mean, honestly, what would y'all be able to leech on to? Y'all should be thankful, man. Nobody wouldn't even know nobody wouldn't even know anything about the Falcons if they didn't play the Saints. Man, I'm from Louisiana and I live in Atlanta, but they hate everything from Louisiana. Man, they can hate all day, but they should be happy. I mean, honestly, they should be happy. They should be happy. Nobody would be, I'm telling you, I'm not even saying this out of spite. Nobody would care about the Atlanta Falcons if they didn't play the Saints. That's when things are high profile. That's when they get their most attention, is when they play the Saints. Am I wrong? I mean, most of the games that come on NBC, Sunday Night Football, man, do you think that they're really there to watch Matt Ryan? Come on, man. I got respect for Matt Ryan, but ain't nobody there to see him. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Okay? Ain't nobody coming to see no Otis Williams. Okay? They came to see David Ruffin. You know what I'm saying? That's what they came here to see. You know what I'm saying? They ain't come here to see no Matt Ryan. Seriously? Knock it off. Let's get back to this. How many stadiums that Atlanta, Georgia invested in without the football team's success? Fulton County Stadium and Georgia Dome copy, and the name of the Louisiana Superdome Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Laughing. Look, man, that's just good money moves, okay? Okay, I mean, I ain't mad at that, okay? I'm a capitalist myself. I like making money. I like making that cheddar, that Skrilla. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm just saying they would not be as relevant as they are without the New Orleans Saints. The rivalry between Drew Brees and New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons have been on the shoulders and the back of Sean Payton and Drew Brees. I'm just being honest, man. They are two of the most respected coach-player tandems in football. They right up there with Belichick and Brady. So nobody would be checking for him. And I'm not even just saying that just to like sound funny. It's facts. It's facts. Roll with it, TJ. I'm just being 100, Tyra. I'm just being 100. Julius says Falcons are the team in high school that you schedule for homecoming. I don't want to go that far. Julius. I know we try to be funny here, but I mean, they're a respectable team. They're a respectable team, and they're tough outing anytime they play, because you don't know what Falcon team you're going to get. But we just got to be realistic here, man. Like the Saints, you know what I'm saying? The Saints are on the marquee. They are the headliner, okay? And the Atlanta Falcons are the guys that come up before the headliner. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the Saints are the president, Atlanta the vice president. You know what I'm saying? Like, the president always in the front. You might see the vice president sometimes giving a little bit of an interview, but it's about the president, okay? It's about him. He's the guy, okay? Oh, man. I just had to make Falcon fans a little bit upset today. Bro, that is cold. Man, it's the truth. It's the truth, Tro. It's the truth, man. Like, for real. Like, we just gotta stop playing ourselves. I'm the one selling the records. They coming to see me. Otis, they coming to see the Falcons. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Atlanta. King Arthur. Channeling his Inner Temptation movie, man. I know that movie word for word, folks. For real, I know that movie word for word. Like I can actually sit up here and recite some of the movie like word for word. Saints the title card, Falcons the undercard with no names, right? Saints the Floyd Mayweather, and they the Jose Cortez Jr. They, you know what I'm saying? That's the up and coming boxer who hasn't really done anything yet. That's what it is. We boast of one of the nastiest defense in the NFL. We get a little shaky at times, but this year is different. I hope so. Man, because I'm tired of getting disappointed in the playoffs, though. I mean, Falcon fan got me on that. I am tired of getting I'm tired of losing the playoffs. If Thomas only runs slant, why you can't stop him? Look, I can care less about a slant because, like I said, anybody that's still talking about a slant and the fact that Michael Thomas just runs slant don't know football. And, I encourage you. I encourage anybody, okay? I encourage anybody. If you think it's so easy, line up against a guy who has some respectable cornerback skills and try to run a 5-yard slant on him and see what happens to you. If a guy's running a 5-yard slant, I mean, honestly, people don't understand how much credit. They don't know how much credit that they're actually giving Michael Thomas, okay? Because if you have a guy like Tyreek Hill, right? Tyreek Hill runs like a 4.2 or 4.3. If he's running a streak route, or for those that don't know what a streak route is, it's running straight down the field, right? No cuts, no outs, no nothing, okay? You're just running in a straight line. And you have the speed. Of course, you're going to get past that cornerback. And if your quarterback has an arm like Mahomes, he's going to get you there. But for somebody that actually running a quick slant, it plays into the cornerback or the safeties. You know, it plays into their hands because they can actually jam you for 5 yards. So if Michael Thomas, Drew Brees says hike, Michael Thomas runs off the line and a cornerback is just pushing him for 5 yards, right? And he still catches the football. That's pretty doggone good, right? I mean, he's catching the ball basically being harassed, okay? You know what I'm saying? That's equivalent to, like, just imagine. Okay, you're running into a bee's nest, right? You're running straight into a bee's nest. You're doing all like this, right? You're trying to get out of the way, trying to make sure that you don't get stung. That is what cornerbacks. I mean, as soon as you say hike, they're jamming you. If he can get off the line and catch the ball for 5 yards, that shows you how good he is. It really does. See, we get things misconstrued, and the media screws a lot of things up for us because they tell you that the guy who runs the 4.3, the guy that runs the 4.2 is the guy that's the most dominant player in the NFL. That's why, they glorify the 40-yard dash at the combine, right? I mean, who cares, man? If you look at history, nobody that play wide receiver has ever made the Hall of Fame if they run a 4.3. A 4.3 40 wide receiver has never made the Hall of Fame. So for all these people out here talking about Julio, you know what I'm saying, who is great, for all those talking about Tyreek and want to put all these different receivers in front of Michael Thomas, you have to understand, man, it is tough to catch a 5-yard slant. It is tough to catch, you know what I'm saying, like a wide receiver screen. It is tough for you to catch, you know what I'm saying, a 10 out, you know what I'm saying, a 10-yard out. It is hard to do that. And people don't understand that because y'all buy into it. But go and watch football or go line up against somebody or actually play the game. Go and play receiver and see how hard it is for you to catch a 5-yard slant on a cornerback that actually knows how to jam. Go do it. And then come back to me and talk about, oh, all he does is run a 5-yard slant. I guarantee you, at least 65 to 70% of people that are talking about Michael Thomas and the fact that they're saying he's running 5-yard slants, they couldn't catch a 5-yard slant on a respectable or credible cornerback. And I mean, I'm not even talking about somebody in the league. I'm talking about somebody that's your friend that might have played in high school or something like that, then play on the next level. Go and do it. Go and try to catch a pass when a guy has the ability to push you for 5 yards. Okay? And you have to keep in mind, too, the quarterback is only going to keep the ball in his hand for how long? 3 Mississippis, right? After the third Mississippi is gone. So if he jam you 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and the ball comes out, can you do it? I doubt it. So I'm telling you, for those that are still out here talking about the short routes, go and run them. Go out there and run some of those small, close, intermediate routes and see how many passes you catch. What's going on, man? It's my brother right here. Morning, Who Dat fans. Yeah, man, y'all be sure to check us out tonight. It's the first episode of me and my big brother EJ podcast. We're gonna be coming on immediately following the game. Probably gonna be a little bit before, man. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, man. I ain't trying to be up all night, but we definitely gonna be on the air, and I'm looking forward to it, man. We got a big season upon us, man. We're glad to be talking about it, man. We're gonna be chopping it up, man, and we're gonna have some fun with it too, man. It's not gonna be a stiff podcast at all, man. I mean, me and my brother, we've been watching football for years. You know, we always had that great chemistry and stuff like that, man. So y'all check it out. It's going to be a great show. What's your Super Bowl win at Skol Vikings? I see a Viking fan in here? Okay. I mean, look, y'all beat us in the last 2 years of the playoffs, but I will say this. The Saints beat y'all when it mattered most, okay? It was time to go to the Super Bowl, and the Saints caused y'all not to go to the Super Bowl, okay? So until y'all actually – and the crazy thing about it is the Vikings beat the Saints, and then the next week get steamrolled the following week. So if I was a guy that was superstitious, if I was a superstitious guy, I wouldn't want to play the Saints if I was the Vikings, because in 2017 the Minneapolis Miracle happened, and then the following week y'all got beat to sleep by Philadelphia. Then last year you beat the Saints, and then you got steamrolled by the San Francisco 49ers. So to me, I wouldn't want to play them. I wouldn't want to play them at all. So, I mean, I'm just being real with you Vikings fans. Skol still butthurt from 2009 with a field goal. A field goal is a win. You don't believe me? Go back and watch that game. Oh, my goodness. What was that game? Was it Blair Walsh, if I'm not mistaken? Wasn't he the guy that missed the chip shot field goal, right? And so while you're up here bragging about, oh, it's just a field goal, go ask your guy Walsh how he shanked that field goal out there in Minnesota and cost you guys, what was that, an L, right? Didn't they lose? If I'm not mistaken, didn't they lose in the playoff? They did. They lost to the playoffs by a chip shot field goal, right? So field goal means a lot, a whole lot, right? Yeah, we killed Favre. So what? You mad, bro? I just like how he said it's just a field goal. Skol Viking fan, y'all actually lost. Like it caught just a chip shot field goal cost y'all a shot to move on into the playoffs. Ain't that something right there? That's crazy. Adrian Peterson still one of the best running backs in NFL history. I agree with you on that one. You ain't gonna get an argument from me with that. Skol, that's why I know you're not valid about your team. Y'all beat us to left punishment by the Niners in the next week. Yeah, man. Like I said, if I was the Vikings, I wouldn't want to play the Saints in the playoffs. Whoever y'all play the following week, y'all always get steamrolled. Y'all defense was fraud. Nah, defense wasn't fraud. Defense wasn't fraud. Y'all defense was actually fraud because then y'all get like, man, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Jimmy Garoppolo only threw the ball 10 times in the second half. Okay? There was a time where the San Francisco 49ers ran 8 straight running plays on you all. I mean, and scored a touchdown. If we want to talk about frauds, please. I mean, please. You don't look no further than that. Okay? Like, I like how the Minnesota Vikings are talking about, like, I like how the Minnesota Vikings are coming into like the chat saying, "Oh, we beat y'all." But what did y'all do afterwards? Y'all did absolutely nothing. You know, y'all beat the Saints. It's always like the last minute thing. And honestly, I don't even think the games would be close if Sean Payton and Mike Zimmer didn't have the relationship they had. They're best friends. They were on Bill Parcells' coaching staff for years. It was Sean Payton's offense going up against Mike Zimmer's defense. So there's that interesting chemistry. It's almost similar to the Atlanta Falcons playing against the 49ers, right? The Falcons beat the 49ers last season, but you can say Dan Quinn was going up against Kyle Shanahan's offense when Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta all those years. So he understood his tendencies. So it's not the fact that Minnesota just has this outstanding team and they're just leaps and bounds better than the Saints. It's the fact that these two guys know each other. They're best friends, okay? You're not going to know anybody better than your best friends. So, I mean, what did you all do the following week? Getting steamrolled by Philly. Getting steamrolled by the 49ers. So, what do you have to show for it? Nothing. And if you're a historian and you love that the Minnesota Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings, I mean, they have a history of choking in the playoffs, okay? If we don't talk about the Saints choking, I mean, look no further than, I mean, come on, man. You had Alan Page. You had Jim Marshall, right? You guys had the Purple People Eaters back in the day, right? One of the greatest defenses of all time and still couldn't make the Super Bowl. Had arguably one of the best quarterbacks of the 70s in Fran Tarkenton and still couldn't make the playoffs. I mean, still can go to the Super Bowl, right? So, I don't know, man. Like, I know it's easy for us to start talking about things that are going on right now, but, you know, I mean, sometimes we have to understand, like, the overall body of work. Now, I just don't know, man. I just think that sometimes, like, if we go back and we look at some of the things, you know, that we hold near and dear to us, you know, sometimes if we say something and we maybe, you know, just reflect, we'll realize how ridiculous it sounds. I am ready for us to beat Tom Brady. Who that nation? Shout out to DJ. ATL don't have no rings. Nah, they don't. They don't have no Super Bowls. That must be torture for you. Cry says, Skol, stay out of the rearview mirror. Reliving stuff from 5-10 years ago ain't healthy. Like I said, man, I wouldn't want to play the Saints if I was the Vikings. They win, but the next week they get steamrolled. Well, you seen the Rams game. We cried because it happened to the Saints. If it happened to your team and got screwed out of the Super Bowl, trust me, you would be mad as hell too. I agree, you know. And the crazy thing about it, EJ, the crazy thing about it is they know that the Saints got screwed, but they don't care because it makes their argument relevant, right? They got to keep that narrative. Oh, they screw up. They blew it. They blew it. They blew it. They got to keep that alive, right? But anybody can tell you that the Saints got robbed, okay? And you can go up here, you can laugh among your friends and stuff like that if it makes you feel good. But it's almost like It's almost like laughing at my 1-year-old son for falling, right? And he just learning how to walk. He fell on the ground, but he's working on his balance, right? It's obvious that he's going to fall a couple times before he gets his balance, right? So it's ridiculous to laugh at a 1-year-old toddler for falling, right? It's obvious that the referees missed a call, and it cost the Saints the game. And people will say, well, what happened at overtime? Shouldn't have been no overtime. It shouldn't have been overtime. But instead of you looking at it that way, you don't, because it feeds, I guess it feeds your narrative about the Saints screwing up. But whatever helps you sleep at night. I mean, but to me, it's like laughing at a 1-year-old toddler. It's pointless, you know? If you want to sit up here and say, oh, man, 2018, they blew that. Nah, they didn't blow it. They didn't blow it. They were supposed to win that game. They were supposed to win. It's almost like the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers, right? When they have the replacement refs. Click. Okay, but they called it a touchdown. So it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? It ain't funny because they got screwed. But keep laughing. RJ Mason says Vikings suck and the Rams NFL against us. Saints Nation, who that? Yeah, man. I mean, look, I don't think the Falcons suck. I mean, not the Falcons, the Vikings. Excuse me, the Vikings. I don't think they suck. I think they're a really good football team, and I like them. I like the Vikings, man. I mean, I used to like, Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Randall Cunningham, Dante Culpepper, and them boys back in the day. I used to like John Randall. He's one of my favorite defensive players when I was younger. I don't have a problem. I don't have the problem with the Vikings. I don't. I just think that the Vikings fans bring it to the Saints front door. And as a Saints fan, I got to defend my squad. I got to defend my squad because, they can talk about these playoff games, but what did it get the Vikings? The Saints beat the Vikings when it mattered the most. We cannot forget that. We cannot forget there was two teams, number 1, number 2 seed in NFC. The Saints beat the Vikings in order for them to go to the Super Bowl. The Vikings lost. The Vikings have beaten the Saints over the last 2 out of 3 years, but what has it gotten them? It hasn't gotten them to the Super Bowl. It hasn't gotten them anywhere. It just got them embarrassed and their hearts being ripped out of their chest the following week. But I will say, whoever beat the Vikings in the playoffs ended up going to the Super Bowl. I will give them that. I mean, the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, won. 49ers should have won the Super Bowl. So I guess, if you want to look at some type of, some type of victory for that, you can say, well, at least the team that beat me went to the Super Bowl. Saints 28, Bucks 24, bold prediction. I think it's going to be more high scoring than that. You got to keep into account Bucks skull game. You got to keep into account, and I can respect this, man, because this is clearly, a Bucks fan, but, a realist. I think it's going to be much higher scoring than this. I feel like the fact that you had no OTAs, no minicamp, no preseason, I think guys are going to have a tough time stopping one another. So I think it is going to be a higher scoring. And we're probably going to be giving our predictions. Well, I'm not going to give my prediction tonight on the podcast, but definitely going to be giving my prediction soon. But I think it's going to be much higher scoring than that. Bucks will win 8 games in 2020. I disagree with that, Cross. I think they're going to win at least 10. I'll give them that. Really, Patriots fans, you think y'all are better without Tom Brady? I don't think so. They know that. But they have to psych themselves out with that, man. You got to believe it. You got to believe it. But they know the truth. Talib was on Rich Eisen's show yesterday, and Rich Eisen asked him if the referees blew that PI. Talib said the F word, saying effing right. They missed that call, and the whole panel were laughing. Yeah, it's the truth. He knows. The Cal Roby Coleman knows. He even said it. But I'm pretty sure he appreciate them not calling it, It's the truth. Vikings lost their DN. Daniil Hunter, that's huge. That is huge right there. Haters who think that Michael Thomas can only run slants don't know football. He runs the whole route tree. I agree. And you also have to keep into account, Derek. What are the Saints asking him to do? Mike Evans hurt. The Saints won in blowout fashion. I don't think Mike Evans, him being hurt, is going to affect the offense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I really don't. I think they still have enough weapons, even in the absence of Mike Evans. They can still put up some points. So I think it's not going to matter. Crowds note we have a cool front. EJ says 37-24, Brady 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, Breeze with 4 touchdowns. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. I don't know. I don't know about that. I have to think about that one, EJ. Saints have edge because no Mike Evans. Man, I think people underestimating Chris Godwin. I think they're underestimating that the other slot receiver everybody's talking about. I think people are underestimating the rookie out of Minnesota that's a part of the team. I think people are underestimating O.J. Howard. I think people are underestimating Gronk. You know, I mean, they still got weapons. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to think about Brate, a very underrated tight end who I feel like can emerge. I mean, he was one of those guys that was like Jameis Winston's utility blanket last season. So despite the fact that Mike Evans could possibly not play, that still does not mean that they don't have a full arsenal. And you got to count for Leonard Fournette, who caught 73 catches out of the backfield for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he has that dynamic. And you got Shady McCoy. So let's not pretend like, oh, no Mike Evans. Like, come on, man. Mike Evans didn't even lead his team in yards last season or catches, if I'm not mistaken. It was Chris Godwin. So Chris Godwin is the guy that's slowly starting to emerge as being one of the guys that teams really have to look out for. Yeah, Scotty Miller. Thank you. Thank you, Bucks. Bucks Dog Gang. Yeah, Tyler Johnson. Yeah, Tyler Johnson, man, somebody I really like. I like that kid, man, out of Minnesota. University of Minnesota, man, had one of the best wide receiver groups. And now they have a guy, man, to me, I think he's going to be the Belinda Cough Award winner. And he was a sophomore last year. That guy is good. Like, I can't think of his name right now, but I would not be surprised if he don't win a Belinda Cough Award or something like that. I don't know if they're doing awards this year, but Michael Thomas, best wide receiver in NFL, can only run slots. I guess he means slants. Can't wait till he learn how to run real routes. Steve Williams, that ain't true. You know, he runs more routes than that. I don't think people understand. Like, if we're sitting up here and we're talking about Drew Brees' arm strength, if we're talking about how Drew Brees throws the football, he doesn't have the arm strength anymore. How do you expect for him to run nines, right? For nines, I mean streak routes. That means straight up straight up the field. How do you expect for him to run deep post routes? What's the point of running deep post routes when you got a quarterback that's not comfortable throwing the ball down the field and doesn't have the arm strength? How are you going to do that? Like, reality, man. How are you going to paint a house white if you got blue paint? Please tell me. How are you going to do that? If you got blue paint, how are you going to paint a house white? How do you expect Michael Thomas to run all these different routes that Julio runs or Tyreek Hill runs if he doesn't have the quarterback that can get him the ball down the field? Okay? But if I would just want to pitch an argument, I can completely negate what you guys are talking about. I can negate the fact that when Taysom Hill threw the ball down the field against the Minnesota Vikings, it was a 55-yard catch to Michael Thomas, right? Michael Thomas had to get separation and get behind the defense in order for him to catch that ball. Right or wrong? Okay? I mean, when Taysom Hill, no, not Taysom Hill, I think it was Teddy Bridgewater, if I'm not mistaken, threw him the ball and he caught the ball, you know what I'm saying, on the sidelines. That was a 32-yard gain. He had to get down the field in order for him to catch that ball. When Taysom Hill threw him the ball for like 30 yards, right? He had to get behind the defense in order to catch that. It seems like to me what the Saints are asking him to do are the short intermediate routes. So all of a sudden, everybody just automatically thinks, oh, that's all he can run. But you have to keep into account the quarterback strength. His quarterback strength is playing within the first 20 yards. So, of course, he's going to run routes that caters to the quarterback. That would be absolutely ridiculous. Why are you running 9 routes when you know for a fact that your quarterback is not going to be able to get you the ball? That would be absolutely ridiculous. So, For anybody that's saying that Michael Thomas only runs those routes, you're right and you're wrong. You have to ask yourself, why is he running these routes? Is it because he can't run anything else? Or is he not required to run anything else? I'm just saying. Pat you below Cajun sausage. All right, let's keep it PG in here. He catches 40 to 50 yards. Yeah, when somebody can give him the ball. Michael Thomas is Reggie Wayne. The dude is a route running genius. Yep. Less than 30% of his catches were slants. These dudes literally don't watch Saints football or do their homework. That's because that's what the national media tells you. And like I said, what's the point of you running street routes if your quarterback is not going to get you the ball? Like, what are you trying to do? Work on your cardio? I guess that's what you're doing, right? You're working on your cardio because you're not going to get the football. You sweating to the oldies with Richard Simmons. That's all you doing because your quarterback is not going to get you the football. Chemistry will be important, especially during the coronavirus season. The Bucs are essentially a new team with new parts and haven't all played together. You need chemistry to and luck to win. Yeah, it's going to take them some time, but when they do, man, they're going to be dangerous. He the best receiver in the league. Yep, according to stats, he is. Analytics. Deontay will get one on Sunday. He's a legit threat. Ernest says, TJ, my bad. Nah, it's all good, man. I just know if I see my mom in the chat, and if my mom in the chat, I'm pretty sure that my niece and nephews around, man. We try to keep it as PG. You know what I'm saying? We can turn up at night because I think they sleep. You know what I'm saying? I might let a little something go, but not during the day, man. You know, I gotta keep it PG, man. Especially if we got these sponsors in here and stuff like that. I don't want them to think I lost my mind. Chad says he can run slants because they can't stop it. So why change it? I mean, I wouldn't. I think Breeze will throw more deep passes this year. I'm not saying he's going to be Mahomes, but he'll turn back the clock. Well, he already said he ain't got nothing to lose. He said, man, I'm about to let it all hang out. He said that in the press conference yesterday. So I actually like that attitude, okay? I mean, you only live once, YOLO, as they say. I don't know if they say it no more. I haven't heard anybody say it in a while. But anyway, he said that he's going to lay it all on the line. And you should, you know, especially if this is your last season. Why not? If that's all he does, stop him. What does that say about your defense? Yep. What does it say about defense when you know that he's the guy that's going to get the ball the majority of the time and you can't stop him? That's a real question. And why, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, why you can't stop a guy that only runs 5-yard slants? Put a linebacker right there, right? You know what I'm saying? And knock him off his block. But you can't. It's sad when you have undercover Saints haters. They're not undercover. They're in full effect. And I appreciate them. I'm glad they're here. You know, they bring an interesting dynamic to the show. I mean, this show is taking a complete 360. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, 180 or 360, whatever you say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like they make it fun. I mean, we were supposed to be talking about Davenport, you know, and are you giving up on them? But we end up talking about every other team. But that just shows us that football is here. Hey, TJ, who will win MVP this year? If they have a better record and they make the playoffs, I'll say Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey would be my first pick. If they don't make the playoffs, which a lot of people think that the Carolina Panthers won't, then I will have to say Patrick Mahomes will win again. Saints podcast, do you think Bucks are doing smoke screen? No, I don't. I don't. If you're talking about Mike Evans, no, I don't. I don't think it's strategic. I think he's really hurt. Dwayne Uptown, East Algiers, you heard me? Yeah. Man, shouts out to him. Dwayne from Uptown. Let me see. TJ, you watching the game tonight? Who you got? I got the Texans in that game. I know that the Kansas City Chiefs are supposed to be Super Bowl champions and stuff like that, but, I mean, man, you got Deshaun Watson got that new contract, and I know that Brandon Cook's dealing with a quad injury. I don't know if he's playing or not. Probably won't. But I'm interested to see that, man. I mean, this isn't one of those games where last season I know that Houston got blew out in the playoffs, but for a good little minute, man. That crowd was quiet in Arrowhead because the Texans were winning. So I'm gonna go with Deshaun Watson, man. I like Deshaun Watson. Happy for him. Glad he got his cheddar. I'm mad that Bill O'Brien got rid of his best target, okay, and didn't even replace him. But I got to roll with Deshaun Watson, man. That's my guy. TJ, I literally watched a film of this dude. He route running is crisp, precise, and he has extremely violent hands. I don't care what part of the tree he runs. He's a bully and can't stop him. Yeah, King Arthur. I mean, Sean Payton said it himself. Sean Payton said his rookie season, he got in front of Michael Thomas, and he was like helping him on the hand drills. And when the quarterback said hike, he said Michael Thomas moved his hands out the way so violently he thought he broke his finger. He said, I said I'd never do that again, and he didn't. The dude is violent off of the ball. If you don't believe what I'm saying or what King Arthur is saying, go check it out. See, we pay attention. Oh, the guy got separation. I encourage people to look at when the quarterback says hike, because that's where the real action is. We see guys get in front of guys or behind guys, but we don't know why. Go and watch the footage and go watch Michael Thomas and go watch some of his footwork and his hands. And you tell me if this guy not a beast, okay? But we don't pay attention to those things, but we need to. One person picked the Saints to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That was Kay Adams. Kay Adams did that, I think. Kay Adams, she always going hard for the Saints on Good Morning Football. Hopefully we can get on the show one day. So what's your analysis on Marcus Davenport? If he starts with an injury, nowhere to go but up. And I don't think Houston will win tonight, but they should cover the 9.5-point spread. Ham mercy. Yeah, that's one heck of a spread. Look, I think this is going to be an exciting game, folks. I mean, I just think that all teams are going to struggle. I mean, you don't have any preseason. You know, around week 1, week 2, teams always struggle with tackling. So this is going to be one of those games where I feel like, you know, it's going to look like guys have Orville Redenbacher butter on their jerseys. You know what I'm saying? Because guys going to be slipping off left and right. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, but as far as Davenport, you know, my take on Davenport is I'm not ready to give up on him. I just feel like it just feeds the haters that he's starting on the injury list. You know, people like, oh, man, the Saints gave up a first-round pick for this dude, bro. Man, he ain't out here doing nothing, bro. He ain't balling out, man. I told y'all he a bust, bro. He ain't going to do nothing, man. We should have got Clowney. I mean, it kind of feeds into those type of people. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but as for me, you know, I still think the guy needs a chance. You know, I think the guy is going to grow and develop. I see a lot of great things coming out of Davenport. If he can stay healthy, I think he'll be all right. But like I said, it only just feeds the haters. The haters love when Davenport is hurt so they can say, man, what Trey Henderson got? Man, Carl Granderson, man, I think we can get him. Well, Cameron Wake, ain't he still out there? You know, it feeds those type of people. But I'm not giving up on him. TJ, people understands that their level of perception, no matter how many facts you have, if they don't understand the art of route running and hand footwork and technique, it won't matter what we say. I mean, look, people going to believe what they want to believe, okay? That's just what it is. You can feed people as much truth as you want to, but if a person doesn't want to believe outside of what their beliefs are, then it really don't matter, you know? I mean, if you're a Falcon fan, you don't want to hear how good Michael Thomas' feet are or his hand movements are. You don't want to hear that. You like the fact that you can just feed, he only runs short routes. You know, he only runs short routes. That's what you want to hear, right? You know, I mean, that's the society we live in, King Arthur. We love to hear what we want to hear. Why do you think if you're like into politics and stuff like that, if you're, you know, mostly towards the right, you tune into Fox News, or if you're, you know, liberal and you're towards the left, you go tune into CNN, because we love to hear what we like to hear, right? So we can go out here and we can feed them as much truth as we want. But, I mean, if you're a Falcon fan, who cares, right? Who cares? All I know is I want Julio Jones to be the best until he retires. So how do I make him a best? La, 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 la. I'm not listening. Michael Thomas do what? La, 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 la. I'm not listening. That's what you do. That's what you do, man. You know, so It don't matter. I mean, I feel like if a person has their own beliefs, their true beliefs, is like, don't waste your time trying to prove them wrong, because they're not going to admit it. It's not the world we live in, King Arthur. We don't live in a world where people can just concede and say, yeah, you know what, you're right, bro. You're right. No. If I'm getting back into a corner these days, I'm going to hit you with a low blow. And then I'm going to walk out of the corner and say, come on, let's fight. Okay? You had me down. You're about to end the fight. You know, I got out. Let's fight again. That's the way the world works. So they're not trying to hit. I'm not trying to prove it to them. I just give my points. I give my point of view, and I just keep it moving. TJ, tell them stop him in one corner since it's so easy. Well, you know it's not easy. Any movement on AK's contract? Haven't heard anything yet, but I mean, what is Thursday, right? It's Thursday. Still got time. And I'm not hearing anything about him not playing, so that's good. Diane McWright says, will Saints fans ever stop living up to this whining BS? Will they stop living up to this whining BS? What do you mean by whining? Elaborate on that. What do you mean by whining? Are you saying other teams whining? Are you saying Saints fans whining? Just let me know. So he broke a record running the hardest route in the NFL. Yeah, man, I don't even know why we still up here trying to argue with these folks. Y'all never going to tell them what they want to hear. You know, unless you like, okay, man, Julio the best. Okay, now I can leave. So, I mean, it's pointless. Love your impression of the haters. Man, Michael Thomas ain't good. He only runs short routes. I mean, it's the truth, though. That's how I imagine people sound. You know? That's how I imagine how people sound when they talking, you know, when they be hating. You know? I think about that, you know, just that dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always had that one friend growing up, and when, you know, we have a couple people probably giving them a hard time. Man, you just hating. That's kind of how they sound. They always had to lip out a little bit. Man. Oh, man. I mean, it's the truth, man. Like, you know, everybody had a friend like that. Everybody had a friend when, you know, let's just say about 5 of y'all, right? Y'all probably played basketball, football in the street. Y'all know how it go. And somebody giving that one friend a hard time, and, you know, they probably start ribbing them. We call it ribbing down in New Orleans, you know, it means you're talking about somebody. And it's like, man, and then all of a sudden he just get mad, man. And he'll take his ball or something like that and go home, right? Like he don't want, it just so happened the dude that get clowned is his football that we throwing around, or it's his basketball that we using, you know what I'm saying? man, forget y'all, bro. Man, y'all just hating. My boy go home, you know? Like, so, I mean, it's always that way, man. So that's why always when I do impressions, that's the first thing that pops into my mind. I'm going to read a few more, man. I'm going to get up out of here. It says some people ain't even worth talking to. Their football IQ is low. I assume that's what you're saying. That's the truth. You know, some people just don't know. And some people, just like I said, they just want to be right. Official Young Nola is laughing. Trevor says he's laughing too. When you go back and think about the greatest teams from 06 to now, Saints will always be in the conversation. Yeah, man. You know, I was talking with Jair Evans yesterday. If y'all haven't seen that, interview, you know what I'm saying, check it out, man. I was talking to him, and he was just talking about how he felt like, you know, when they went to the Super Bowl, well, in 06, when his rookie season, they went to the NFC Championship game, and he was like, man, I thought we was going to go to the Super Bowl every year. He said when they went 09, he's like, man, we definitely going to go, and then we ain't go back ever since, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just feel like, you know, to me, you know, the Saints always going to be in a conversation of great teams, you know what I'm saying? Like, even, you know what I'm saying, that's how Jari felt about his teams, and that's how the NFL thinks about them. So, if you know what route a receiver going to run and you can't stop him, you need a new defense. Don't blame the receiver. Do your thing, Michael Thomas. Yeah, I agree. I mean, all that talking, I ain't seen much stopping yet. It's just like the LeBron and Jordan debate. People want to diminish Mike T because they prefer another player style. Yeah, you know, I mean, but to me, I just feel like Michael Jordan was just better. But I will say this. I don't think LeBron could ever live up to the expectations of what Jordan left. You know what I'm saying? He just can't. Like, Jordan, man, bruh, do you know how universal a name like Michael is? Like, if you can transcend under the name Michael, like you done something, right? When you think about it, if you think about the name Michael, you think about two people. You think about Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan, right? Now, if you want to talk about Mike, you think about Mike Tyson. You don't call him Mike Jordan. You don't even call him Michael Jackson. You don't even call him Mike. You know what I'm saying? But you would think about those three guys, right? So that's the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think, well, LeBron is a great player. I think he's great, but he will never live up to expectations of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has football players wearing basketball shoes, okay? Even though they turn them into cleats. Let's just be real. They're basketball shoes. When you got guys wearing your shoes in a completely different sport you played, my goodness. Like you made it, my friend. LeBron have a long way to go, But as far as on the court, I mean, he's incredible. I can't knock him for that. And Julius says, what they're going to do now that they can't double team Mike. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. And the last one of the day comes from Ernest, says the Saints will play instinctively because of no tape of this new offensive weapons Tampa Bay have. I just hope they don't overrun the plays. Well, I mean, we'll never know until it happens, man. But I'm pretty sure that the Saints are going to be prepared. This is going to be a tough game. To me, it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that you're going to be seeing a lot of mistakes out there from both teams. But nevertheless, football is back, and I know everybody here is excited about it. But I want to say thank you very much for tuning in to the State of the Saints podcast. Be sure to check out the State of the Saints podcast live every single time. I mean, I try to do it, and I try to do this show at least 6 days out of the week, okay? And be sure to check it out live, you know what I'm saying, if you can. If you can't, then subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints Podcast, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints Podcast, the audio podcast that we're really trying to push, folks. I cannot stress this enough. Please subscribe to the audio podcast, no matter if you're using Apple Podcasts, if you're using iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Anchor FM. Take a few seconds, okay? If you got an iPhone, go to the Apple Podcast store, search The State of the Saints Podcast, and follow. If you're on Spotify, iTunes, on any of those, okay, please subscribe, okay? We're really trying to push the audio podcast, really trying to push that cause, man. We're trying to transition from, just being on camera to actually, doing an audio podcast so we can actually have, because there's so many people, in other countries and stuff like that. You got people that actually at work who can't look at the videos, some people that are probably working out in the gym. So we want to make sure that we give them, experience and everything like that. So please subscribe to the audio podcast. Thank you all so much for your time. Have a good and productive day. This has been fun. Look forward to speaking with you all tonight on me and my big brother EJ's podcast. And like I said, y'all just take care. Till next time. All I got to say is, who that?